What happens when two morning show hosts who can barely stand each other head to a Christmas town for one final week together?
Well, naturally, there are gingerbread houses, forced proximity, an inconvenient girlfriend, and eventually, a deeply personal romantic moment broadcast to America without their knowledge.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Human Resources is going to have a field day.
Sit down and watch, then have a talk with Jennifer and Josh.
Welcome back to your favorite Hallmark hangout. I'm Josh alongside my good friend Jennifer, and our 12 Pods of Christmas summer series rolls on. And joining us this time is friend of the pod, Carly. Good to see you again, Carly. How you been?
Oh my goodness, I've missed you all. It's so good to see your faces. And let me just say, what would you call it, overhaul with the graphics? It's beautiful. I'm
The brand
here for
glow
it.
up. You're very
so much
kind.
for noticing.
Yes.
Oh, are you
Thank very
kidding?
much.
So good. Thanks for having me back.
New look, same us, but here we go. On this episode, we're gabbing about 2020's Good Morning Christmas. So imagine Regis and Kelly, but they're secretly sick of each other because Regis wants to quit, Kelly feels betrayed, and then somebody ships them off to a magical Christmas town where the locals immediately begin conspiring to make them fall in love. Then throw in a girlfriend and a hot deputy mayor and some extremely questionable television ethics, and you've got Good Morning Christmas. Let's get into it.
Okay, so we kick things off in New York City, and we very quickly meet our leads here. This is Brian Bright and Melissa Mary. Yes, Bright and Mary, because subtlety has apparently taken the holiday off. They are the longtime co-hosts of a very, very popular morning show that is legally distinct from Regis and Kelly. And today, they're talking Christmas wishes because Melissa wants the perfect Christmas date. Brian wants the perfect Christmas vacation. And that pretty much tells you everything you need to know about these two going into it. Brian goes off prompter, which Melissa absolutely hates. And then their producer pretty much drops a bigger bomb right out of the gate. Brian wants out of his contract. Melissa is completely blindsided. So Merry Christmas. And this movie stars, by the way, Alison Sweeney and Marc Blucas, both Hallmark, Hallmark stars. They've been around the block. I'm a big Alison Sweeney fan. Carly, your thoughts on this couple when you met them? Did you like the two of them together? Did you believe they could be co-hosts?
Yeah, I think they got a lot of things right on the whole news front. I mean, first of all, Josh, you know this, the male lead looks just like one of
Spitting image.
our local meteorologists. So that was
Yeah.
almost a little too real for me. Yeah, I like them as a couple. And then I'll just say right off the bat where they end that first show and they're like smiling and then the show ends and they're immediately like, ugh, and rolling their eyes. That was very true to life for me. And not necessarily because you're like annoyed with your co-host, but maybe because you're hungry or somebody emailed you. But that is very much how it is. Once the show is done, so are the smiles.
There you go. Jennifer, did you
Yes,
like
because
these
as
two?
a reminder, Carly has a local news background. So she, Josh may not, but Carly does. And she can infuse that wisdom in us, much like she did when we talked about, the BJ Britt Tamara Mowry housing movie last Christmas, also taking place in a newsroom. So Carly's on our news anchor movie beat. Okay.
Yes.
You are our trusted Christmas correspondent. For these. Yes.
Christmas movie coverage you can count on is what it boils down to.
Some may say, yeah. No, I'm glad to see these two together. I like Marc Blucas. I don't feel like I've seen him in a ton of things, but I like him when I see him. So I thought they were a good match.
I thought so too. Anyway, Melissa unpacks all of the drama with her co-host, with her sister Kate. She says she can't trust Brian anymore, which feels slightly dramatic considering he's quitting a television show after just 1 year and not fleeing the country under an assumed identity. But okay, we've got some stakes established out of the gate. Meantime, we learn Bright and Mary is hitting the road. They are headed to Mistletoe, Maine, for a week-long Deck Your Town event culminating in a big Christmas Eve primetime special, which will also apparently be where they announce that the show is ending because nothing says Christmas like a nationally televised workplace breakup. Here we go. Bright and Mary arrive in Mistletoe. The townies are practically falling all over themselves to Hallmark hospitality, these people. The two head to dinner, and we also begin aggressively establishing some pretty key character traits here. Melissa, planner. Brian, spontaneous. Got it. Because we're going to need that information approximately 47 more times as we go here. It's time for our very first show from Mistletoe. The banter is fake. The smiles are huge. The Christmas cheer is being applied with a trowel here. Melissa almost lets it slip that their Christmas Eve show will be their last, but she happens to catch herself because she is nothing if not professional. So they head into town to shoot some segments, and their producer decides to change the plan at the last minute. Melissa reacts exactly how you'd expect a planner to react, and next thing you know, she and Brian are attempting to build a gingerbread house together, which goes about as well as any Hallmark activity involving two people who insist they don't like each other does. Afterwards, they stroll around town. We get some backstory. It turns out Brian was basically on The Bachelorette, got rejected, and somehow parlayed that into a morning television career. Melissa, meantime, has been laser focused on her job from day one. So once again, Brian falls into things. Melissa plans everything. Please update your Hallmark character trait scorecards accordingly. Were you buying the setup here, Jennifer? Did you like the Mistletoe townies? Were you here for it?
Love a townie, never upset about a townie. In fact, Hallmark in the real world, as of the year of our Lord 2026, has this contest. Did you see it? And they're vying for like the
Deck
most
your
charming
hometown.
Christmas small town to deck out like in this year. And they've narrowed it down to like a last batch of finalists. So I can buy that. The town of Mistletoe, maybe it exists, maybe not. I'm not too hung about that either. Yeah, I'm here for all of this. I mean, it's beaten a little over our heads that he is not a planner and she is. Like, we get it. We get it. And why does she care that he's leaving? Well, I know why, but like at this point, she didn't like him anyway. So she should be jumping for joy that he's out. You know, you would think.
Yeah, because she wasn't necessarily too worried about the ratings, was she, Carly? She was more concerned about, I don't know what.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, when she's talking to her sister about him, right? Like, she's like, I hate him. But it's pretty clear to everyone at that point that she was going to fall in love with him. I loved the decorations, though. I mean, I just thought every time I saw a different room, I just thought they were beautiful.
Yeah.
It looked really warm and homey, which I love. Yeah.
The budget was very big for the decor here. We weren't going to Dollar Tree here. Trust and believe. Yeah.
And this one came out in 2020. I wonder if it was filmed. It had to have been filmed early, right? Because there were actually like more than two people on set. So they must have gotten this one in the can before the 2020 of it all happened.
That's my guess as well. Yes. Anyway, later, Lexi, who is the waitress at the local restaurant, delivers Melissa some risotto that she made, and Melissa encourages her to take a chance on herself. Apparently, we're developing a Melissa and Lexi mentorship subplot here. The whole thing was a little wacky for me. Feels a little like Melissa has known this woman for 14 minutes, but sure. Let's see where this goes.
We didn't need this. I don't like when they add too many. I don't need these side quests. She could have been a nice townie. We don't need to like further her career. It doesn't. Yeah. I don't care. I'm sorry. Lots of love.
And the whole situation, like, tell you what, I'll eat your delicious food for you and tell you if it's good or not. And then she acts like it's the best thing that's ever happened to her. I'm like, girl, you just got had. Something is not right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did Lexi have like inappropriate photos of her like that she was going to send to TMZ or something? Like,
felt very blackmail-y. Yes,
was there
very
a
blackmail-y.
scene that we missed? They're like, it's Hallmark. We got to cut that part out. That's too sinister. But it did feel like, it's like, eat the risotto. Otherwise, this goes to print.
You will help me further my career, or ...
Yeah,
I'll ruin yours. Yeah. Anyway, enter James. Now, James is the deputy mayor of Mistletoe. And listen here. Hallmark did not cast some schlubby bureaucrat here. This is deputy mayor. He's like Hallmark handsome in his own right, in my opinion. He's charming. He's available. We may have ourselves a problem here. He asks Melissa to go for hot cocoa and a stroll. But before that, there's another episode that these wackadoos have to shoot, and their producer, who at this point is basically operating a covert matchmaking service, she manufactures some classic Hallmark forced proximity in the form of a 3-legged wreath race. So, yeah, they basically have a wreath around their waist and 2 of their legs, and it's like a 3-legged race, but make it Christmas. So Brian and Melissa tumble into the snow, and somehow they turn this into a prolonged conversation about how Brian always seems to land on his feet. I got a question for you ladies. If you happen to like casually trip on a coworker, are you going to lay there on the ground with said coworker and just talk to one another? Or are you going to get up?
Breathing the same air? Absolutely
Exactly.
not.
Are you
Never.
getting up as quickly as possible? Because it was a little weird.
Depends on the
Okay.
coworker.
Oh, that's what she said.
Just kidding.
So, wait, this mayor was his character name?
James.
It's James. He's been in so many Hallmark movies. He's been in mystery movies. He's been in The Christmas House 2. He's been in North to Home. He was in 2 episodes of When Calls the Heart. The Holiday Sitter, which we talked about. Debbie McCullough's Joyful Miracle. The Chicken Sisters. And last year's movie we talked about with Carly, he was Todd in Tidings for the Season. So maybe
There
he's
you
on
go.
the news beat as well.
Could be.
Yeah, it's Matthew James Dowden. Good on him.
Good on him. Yeah. Melissa thinks life has just worked out for him. Brian tells her that isn't really true. And maybe, just maybe, Melissa is beginning to see another side of him. Here we go. Brian may be softening a little bit too because he speaks Melissa's love language. He asks her if she wants to rehearse. My man has been paying attention. Unfortunately, Melissa has a date, kind of a date, maybe, with Deputy Mayor Guy. And here's my problem. They actually look kind of cute together. And I know I'm not supposed to want the 2 of them together. I understand the assignment here, but James is charming. Melissa seems happy. Seems like there's some sparking here. Nearby, Brian is watching all of this. He gets jealous enough to like pick up his phone and text Melissa something work-related just to break them up. Sir, as a reminder, you yourself
You have
a girlfriend.
Yes, thank
girl-
you.
You have a beautiful model girlfriend
Yes,
who seemingly is making future plans with you. Sir.
sir.
Is that like if the I can't have her, no one can? Ew.
That's
No,
what
thank
it felt like. Felt a little
That's a
icky
red
to me.
flag. Gives me
Yep.
the ick. Yeah.
Gave me the ick too. Yeah. All right, time to light the tree in Mistletoe, and Brian appears to be catching a little Christmas spirit here. Later, he and Melissa rehearse by the fire, and the ice between them is very clearly beginning to thaw. Brian admits he could be more of a team player, and Melissa admits she could be a little less bossy. Look at this. We got growth. We got communication. We got a roaring fireplace. We are officially cooking here. Next.
It's that, I'm sorry, I kind of
No.
like that it is a bit like therapy, where it's like if you can understand the feeling and the history behind the actions and the words, then they're not so hurtful or harmful. And that was cathartic for me.
Yeah. We love a self-discovery moment. We have
Yeah.
often said, Carly, on this podcast, that so many of the problems that these couples have could easily be solved if people would just have an honest conversation.
Yeah.
And
Anyway,
isn't that true for all of us? You know?
it
Yes.
is. It
It's
is.
just not always that easy, Josh. In
No,
fact,
it's
I've been
not.
waiting to have a conversation with you for a long time. Oopsie. No, I kid.
But
Wouldn't that be so awkward if I'm like, now that I have you here, you're out, Carly's in full-time.
just like Bright and Mary, this is our last episode
Yeah.
together.
I've been combing through resumes and submittals. And...
Boy. Yikes. Anyway, next, Brian and Melissa decorate a Christmas tree together with Balsam Hill ornaments, naturally, because we love a Balsam Hill on Hallmark Channel. Melissa talks about why she loves Christmas, and she starts teasing Brian about his ornament placement. And this isn't regular teasing. This is like flirty ornament placement teasing, which results in a jazzy little montage with plenty of close-ups of beautiful, really expensive Balsam Hill ornaments that are coincidentally available for purchase online at balsamhill.com.
Not an
Melissa... Yeah, exactly.
I got
Not
a bone
an
to
ad.
pick with Balsam Hill real quick because Hallmark in every day in July you could enter contests for free things, and I entered for any and everything. A lot of it was Balsam Hill. I signed up. If you signed up to get the Balsam Hill marketing, you would get more chances. And I was like, yes, sign me up. I got nothing. Zip.
Nothing.
Zilch. But every time I get a Balsam Hill email, I'm like, this is my moment. I'm going to get a free tree, baby. No.
Boom.
Nothing.
Nada.
Sad Christmas. I'm having a blue Christmas.
Womp womp. Yeah. Well, Brian's Christmas isn't so blue because Melissa lets him flip the switch on the tree, and it's this magical moment. It was really lovely. In Hallmark terms, though, lighting the Christmas tree and letting someone else do that, that's like basically reaching second base, right? Yeah, it is.
Things are moving quick.
Things are moving quickly until, record scratch, here comes Christy, Brian's girlfriend. His girlfriend.
And every time the girlfriend walks in, Anchor Lady immediately makes a quick, awkward exit. I mean, the girlfriend, she should be suspicious.
She should be.
For
sure.
Yeah.
And mad.
Yeah. Later, Melissa is working late on set when the innkeeper lady stops by with coffee and encourages her to make what's called a mistletoe wish, which is their big thing in Mistletoe. You go write a wish on a piece of paper, you hang it on the tree, yada, yada. Guess what? By the way, the inn has an old horse-drawn carriage sitting in storage. Now, earlier, Melissa had told Brian that her perfect Christmas date involved a horse-drawn carriage ride. So, the Christmas carriage has officially entered the chat here. Brian finds out about the Christmas carriage, secretly convinces the innkeeper Stan to help him get it running. Nothing to see here, just a man with a girlfriend secretly restoring another woman's dream Christmas date. Totally normal coworker stuff. Nothing to be concerned about.
Haven't we seen another Hallmark movie where there's a Christmas carriage that's restored for love? I feel like this isn't the first time this has happened.
No.
Honestly.
No. Kind of a...
If you know what movie I'm talking about, comment on the video or message us.
I'm sure there is. Yeah. Next day, everyone goes ice skating in ridiculous Christmas hats. Brian finally explains why he's always been a little grinchy. Basically, his childhood taught him not to get too attached to things or traditions because they might disappear. Okay, that's actually kind of sad. Womp womp. Yeah. We got his backstory, and it was actually kind of a letdown. Yeah. Deputy Mayor James arrives, and he's got bad news. A busted pipe has caused some major problems at the town center, ruined a bunch of presents that were supposed to be given away for charity. Christy is also there at the ice rink, bringing roughly the same amount of Christmas cheer as the busted pipe. And even she can see what's happening between Brian and Melissa. She's very doing that thing. Yeah. Meanwhile, Boss Lady wants Melissa's list of finalists to replace Brian on the show. And Melissa tells Brian, Christmas is worth the effort. You can always make new memories. And Brian appears to be taking that advice very seriously. That night, everyone is decorating stockings at the restaurant in town. And Lexi, again, Melissa's new best friend / mentee / life coach client, despite knowing her for approximately 3 days, forces Brian and Melissa to craft together.
It's one long date. We've got ice skating and gingerbread house, and now we're decorating the stockings.
Yes. Yeah.
With not his girlfriend.
Not his girlfriend. No. They flirt, they bond, and then Christy shows up, happens to know exactly where he is. With big news, she got herself and Brian a new show, a reality show, just the two of them. Okay. Brian reacts with all the excitement of a man who has just been told his colonoscopy has been moved up. But hey, Brian and Melissa, they win the stocking contest, so priorities, I suppose? I don't know. Brian clearly isn't thrilled about the new reality show. What he is thrilled about is clearly Melissa. Unfortunately, she's across the room laughing with Deputy Mayor Guy. Again, you have a girlfriend, Brian. You have a girlfriend.
Yuck.
Later.
And did he not, he's been with her for a year.
Yeah.
Has he never tried to make a move on her, or has he never realized how much he cared for her until the Christmas lights were twinkling?
Apparently, it was the mistletoe of it all. It was the mistletoe of it all. Swept up.
I'm just wondering if this thing would last past, St. Patrick's Day. Or if he's just slain in the Christmas spirit.
I think it's more
And while
that,
we're going down
probably.
that path, if he's willing to cheat with you, what's to say he's not willing to cheat later? I mean, the red flags are there, ladies. Let's just pay attention.
Let's just put it out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
and it's not a Christmas-colored red, okay? It's a bright, beaming red. It's not cute. You won't find those at Hobby Lobby.
It was the wise oracle, Dr. Phil, who once said that the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. I'm just going to say that. Anyway.
If you had told me you would be referencing Dr. Phil on this podcast, I don't think I would have guessed that. But here we are.
There you go. Later, Brian and Stan work on restoring the carriage and they have a little heart-to-heart. Brian is officially catching the feels for Melissa. And honestly, Stan might be the most effective couples therapist in all of Maine, the way he handles this. Loved Stan.
I Stan. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Same here.
More of Stan, less of Lexi. That's what I would have done with this movie.
Exactly. Back on set, Brian and Melissa are wearing Hawaiian Christmas shirts because, sure. Then disaster in the television world strikes. The teleprompter goes down. This is Melissa's nightmare. This is Brian's Super Bowl. They have no choice but to ad-lib, and it results in great television. Now, Carly, our television correspondent here on the podcast, when prompter goes down, is that a fun thing for you? Is that a stressful thing for you? Is it your Super Bowl or your nightmare?
As you were saying this, I laughed because I was thinking, okay, this would be Josh's Super Bowl if he were a former news personality, and this would be my nightmare because I would be terrible and he would be great.
Not true. You ad-libbed plenty and you were great.
But this show is proof. I mean, you all are ad-libbing the full thing, and it's better for it, right? You guys are yourselves, and so I do think it sometimes makes for better television.
Well, goodness, that sounds like a 5-star review. And if you're listening, we would certainly encourage a 5-star review. Write a nice comment on your favorite podcast platform or on our YouTube channel. That helps us in the algorithm. Thank you for that, true. Carly. You're welcome to come back another time. Check. There you go. Anyway,
Carly
the show
has signed her contract for at least one more episode, for sure. That's
Yes.
we're always under
renew
contract
her.
negotiations with our guests.
Renewed. Yes, exactly. Anyway, this episode that they do ad-libbing is great. They're natural. They're funny together. They're working together instead of fighting one another. When they learn that the burst water main ruined a local charity effort, they make an impromptu plea to the public for toy donations. And Melissa, on air, calls Brian the best co-host she's ever had. Even their producer is looking around like, so are we sure that we're going to be ending this show? Ma'am, we have all seen this movie. We know exactly where this is going. Lexi, again, shows up later with muffins for Melissa this time, and she notices that she's scrolling through photos of herself and Brian, and Lexi basically gives her the girl. And honestly, same. Like, come on. Brian, now wearing a Santa hat, shows up with another surprise for Melissa, baking. And since Melissa is played by Alison Sweeney, we have briefly crossed over into the Hannah Swenson cinematic universe, and somewhere Cameron Matheson just sensed a disturbance in the force. Brian starts asking Melissa about the search for his replacement and then starts poking around why she's single. Real smooth here. Melissa pivots back toward her career, but later FaceTimes Kate, her sister again, and admits that she might be developing some feelings. You think? Honestly. Brian and Melissa are shooting their big Mistletoe wish segment when their producer spots them strolling through town. She tells them she just hopes they don't make a mistake. And at this point, literally every resident of Mistletoe, Maine has identified this relationship before Brian and Melissa have. The whole town is in on it. The two of them seemingly oblivious for people who presumably work in the news adjacent space. So get it together, guys. Then Christy casually tells Melissa about the reality show. And there it is, the oopsie doodle. Brian realizes he's made a mess. Melissa feels betrayed. The whole thing comes crashing down. Brian breaks up with Christy. Wow. Who, because this is Hallmark, handles the situation with a frankly astonishing amount of maturity. There's no screaming, no drink to throw in anyone's face. Just, yeah, you're clearly in love with your co-host. Good luck with that. Respect,
Please.
I suppose. Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Back on set, Melissa is ice cold. The toy drive, however, is a huge success, but Brian tries to clear the air and she wants absolutely none of it. So Brian decides it's time for the grand gesture. He gets flowers. He's got a plan. And then Deputy Mayor guy shows up and asks Melissa to dinner. What? Didn't see this coming. Brian watches them leave together, bouquet in hand. Oof. But James figures things out pretty quickly. Melissa assumes he left her a mysterious note about this surprise date. He did not. And James, Handsome, emotionally intelligent, civic-minded Deputy Mayor James realizes what's happening here. He tells Melissa he's seen the way Brian looks at her and gracefully bows out. A salute to you, Deputy Mayor Guy. You deserved your own movie. It's almost time.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's almost time for Brian and Melissa's final show together, and their producer has apparently decided that basic journalistic ethics do not apply to morning television because she wants hidden cameras on just the two of them.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Please.
I think at this part in the movie is where they have started referencing the Festival of Lights. Is that right? Right? This all culminates at the Festival of Lights.
Something
I don't
like
know.
that? I don't remember.
Okay, this obviously did not bother you all, but I know that I am the news correspondent. I'm also your Jewish correspondent, and Hanukkah is the Festival of Lights. So this whole time they're talking about the Festival of Lights, I'm like, oh, they're going to bring in some Hanukkah too. We're going to be inclusive, you know? And then at the end, I find out, no, they're stealing Festival of Lights. Like, let us have something, you guys. Anyway, go ahead.
Rude.
What a
So
letdown that
rude.
was
Plot
for me.
twist.
You
Plot
guys were
twist.
unfazed. Go ahead.
Sorry.
We hear about a lot of events. Honestly, I try to not focus on their names. I should have caught it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Justice for Festival of Lights. Pause off.
There you go.
Christmas.
I love that.
Back up.
There you go. Throw it in reverse,
Yeah.
honestly. Anyway, so the producer's going to have hidden cameras on the two of them. Meanwhile, Brian asks Stan how he knew that his wife was the one. Brian doesn't know what he's supposed to say to Melissa, but Stan gives him some revolutionary advice here. Tell her the truth. Okay, here we go. Melissa eventually wanders outside with a Christmas present for Brian. She sits down on the front stoop, completely unaware that cameramen are hiding in the shrubs around her, and she is now apparently live on national television. And then we hear hooves clopping off in the distance. Clop, 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 clop.
Jennifer, are you okay?
I
She's
hated
just-
this.
She's
I
just
hated
reliving
it.
this entire thing.
I hated
Up
it.
rolls Brian with the carriage. Christmas carriage is on the scene. Brian recreated Melissa's perfect date. He pours out his heart. She pours out hers. He lifts her, hoists her up into the carriage, and then kiss on live television in front of America,
And
Without
the girlfriend.
without either of them knowing beforehand that this deeply personal moment was being broadcast nationally. And the reaction to discovering this is basically, "Aww, guys, Char is
Where
going
do
to
we
have a
begin?
field day."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But go
as
ahead.
news professionals, and specifically Carly, our news correspondent,
Mhm.
would that ever happen?
None of this. I mean, from the minute this movie opened, I'm like, and they're the number one show in America. Like, this show wouldn't exist a day unless there's like a murder or a major plot twist later in the show, you know. So, no. And they're mic'd, right? They're magically mic'd.
Somehow.
Well, he
this-
got mic'd earlier before he went to, like, he was just getting that checked off the list. Like, he's going to get mic'd, and then he
So
went
that's okay.
to do so. They did say that, I guess. He popped by to get mic'd, and then he went to get the carriage or whatever. But yeah.
But yeah, we're just going to break into the commercials that are keeping this show alive and,
Yeah.
you know.
So we can show this long protracted scene where nobody knows what's going to happen. Sure. Anywho, Bright and Merry is saved. Brian and Melissa are together. Mistletoe gets its Christmas miracle, and somewhere their producer is staring at the overnight ratings and demanding a contract extension of her own. Good morning, Christmas, indeed.
It's time for Gold or Coal.
Okay, it is time for our Gold or Coal segment. We are each going to bring 3 gifts to the podcast. If it's something positive, we're going to give it gold, and it's a ratings bonanza this time. If it's something a little more negative, we didn't like it as much, it's going to be coal, and it's canceled. Carly, as our special guest, we're coming to you first. Are you giving gold or coal for your first gift?
Okay, y'all know this is coming. I'm starting with coal because they're cheaters. And this whole show, they're asking us to get behind this couple that is not acting right. And this poor girlfriend on the side, you know, I couldn't get behind it.
Valid.
All right. Valid point.
It happens a lot on Hallmark. We are supposed to root for the at least emotional cheating if it's for the greater good. They really they want you to do that, and they try to make the person who is being cheated upon as unlikable as possible, because then you're like, well, they deserve it, you know?
Yeah. And they tried doing that with Christy. They tried with Christy because she shows up and she's like, oh, I'm cold and I don't like Christmas and all this others. They tried to make you not like her. Yeah.
Not enough reason to cheat on her.
Not enough reason. No. Yeah, exactly. All right. I'm going to start with some gold. I thought this movie did have a fair amount of Christmas feels throughout. We already talked about the decor. I thought it looked beautiful. It looked very warm. They spent the money on the decorations. We got all of the Christmas stuff, the stockings, the gingerbread, the baking, the whole 9 yards. It checked all the boxes for me in that regard. So I'll give it gold.
And it made sense. It wasn't like it was shoehorned. They were recording these bits, and that kind of drove why they were doing all those things. So I agree. I'm going to give gold. I really liked, emotional cheating aside, I liked the scene where she was helping him decorate the tree. I thought it was very intimate, very well, like the script was really well written there. We got to know them a little bit more. It was shot really pretty, and I'm going to give it gold.
Great. All right, Carly, back to you. Your second gift.
I'm going to start to sound repetitive, but I gave it gold for the decor. I did love the way it made me feel. Like just the first scene where she was tying the bow on the president. I was like, that is a gorgeous bow. I mean, everywhere you looked, I wanted to live there. And then when they busted out the baking scene, I was just so happy for Josh.
All right, my next gift will be Cole. We got to talk about this Lexi subplot. It was just such a weird choice for me. It did not make any sense, and it didn't do anything to the overall plot. I was trying to figure out why we had this subplot in the first place. I think that they were trying to soften up her character, and I just don't know that they needed to do that. It felt like wasted time, and I think, Jennifer, you hit the nail on the head earlier. We could have done more with their relationship with the two innkeepers. Like that would have been a better way to spend that time. Like each of them talking with their respective innkeeper friend and learning about love and falling in love and all of that sort of stuff. It was just, I didn't like that subplot.
Well, didn't they try to tie it in? Because there's another subplot that this kid came by the studio and wanted to shadow the producer.
Yes.
And she kind of took him under her wing. And didn't the producer kid and Lexi kind of have a little flirtmance or something going on?
Yes.
So I think they tried to like make that happen. I don't know.
Just didn't need to happen. It was weird. Yeah.
I'm going to give gold. The casting overall I thought was really good. I enjoyed, even if I didn't like the choice of having a Lexi subplot, but I think all of these people were cast well in the parts that they were cast for. So I'm going to give gold.
Great. All right. Final round. Carly, your last gift.
I gave Cole for bad side characters. Just all those stories. I did love the innkeepers, both him and her. I love them, but everything else, the producer, the vice mayor, the chef, I was like, unnecessary.
There you go. I will give some gold for the leads here for Alison, Sweeney, and Marc Blucas. I liked them individually. I think they really sort of encapsulated their roles pretty well. At the end of the day, I'm not sure that I bought the chemistry between them fully, or that I think this relationship is going anywhere after the Christmas season. But for what it was, I think it did give me a fair amount of the rom in the rom-com that we come to Hallmark for.
He is so charming.
Yeah.
I like that he pushed her out of her comfort zone, and when he did that, he was going to kick out of it, and I think she was too. So I like it. My last gift, though, has to be Cole for this final sleigh scene. I love that he restored the sleigh. I love that was the big final gesture, but it was so shadowed by this non-consented live act. People hiding in trees with cameras on national television. I could not get past it. I would be mortified. Thank God they decided they loved each other or whatever. But still, you don't want that on for everybody to see. Maybe you do if you want ratings, but it made me uncomfortable. And that outweighed the cute moment of the sleigh, or the carriage.
And it was really creepy. At one point, wasn't one of the photographers looking at them and going like this with a thumbs up or something like that?
Yeah.
It was creepy.
And they kind of said something like, oh yeah, we knew that would happen, or we should have assumed that would happen, or something like that. I'm like, this producer should be fired. Like,
right?
This has got to be against some kind of news law that you people have. I don't know.
You people.
And if it's not, it should be. I don't like it.
There were a few times during their broadcast where I was like, you're mic'd. your mics. Like, don't be talking about this while you're on the set because 50 people can hear you.
Hot mic, exactly. Yep. So at the end of the day, we had 5 pieces of gold, 4 pieces of coal. Not bad, kind of middle of the road, but at the end of the day, it did teeter into ratings bonanza territory. 5-4. This feels right for me, kind of middle of the road, not terrible, not fully meh, but just a notch above meh. And we got to go to Carly, again, the Do You Watch What I Watch news correspondent. I need to know if you were grading this as an elementary school teacher, A to F, in terms of an accurate representation of morning television, what grade would you give it? Go.
D.
D. Okay.
D.
D is in dog. Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah.
Maybe that's harsh. But again, with this is not going to be a number 1 rated show. We've got 50 people in this studio. The producer is very nice. Nothing against producers, but they just get along so well. And then, the whole romance thing. I don't know. Yeah.
And then there were these
for me.
awkward moments where the producer would say, and that's a break. And everybody on the crew would clap. Like, I can promise you, not that I would have intimate knowledge when we go to commercial break, ain't nobody clapping. It just doesn't happen. Wow, you really read that really well. Good job.
No, Sweeney.
Exactly. Not happening. Not happening. All right. Well, if you've watched this movie, we would love to hear from you. What did you think about it? Let us know in the comments below or comment on our social media channels and let us know. Carly, such a joy and such a delight to have you as always. I know you've got a lot going on. Anything you want to plug or talk about here on the podcast to share with our listeners?
Well, I'm always going to take the chance to plug the Alzheimer's Association and the upcoming walk in November. It's happening at Centennial Park in Nashville. Would love to see you there. But I just want to say before you guys make me leave, because I would stay here and talk to you guys forever, that I'm obsessed with you all. This podcast is everything. Thank you so much for having me back. It's a delight.
Well, I need you to know, Carly, that, and dear listeners, we talked about this on the podcast, but Carly is the one who secured me my Ashley Williams autograph that I keep within view of me as I record this podcast at an Alzheimer's event in California. So thank you for that, Carly. And it's not
framed?
I'm really glad that you still have that, because it was really hard for me to go up and say, can I have your autograph, please?
Love her. Love you. We're so glad
nice.
we got to
She's
chat
a real
with
one.
her.
She's a real one, that
really
Carly.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
No, Carly's a real one is what he's saying. Yeah.
Well, I mean, both of y'all, you're all real ones. Exactly.
You're all real ones. There's our YouTube title. Whoever watches this, you're a real one.
You're a real one. You know what?
To all of our real ones, that's another episode of Do You Watch What I Watch? We're happy you're here. Please hit subscribe. If you're not already subscribed on YouTube, make sure you're following us on podcast platforms, because we are marching along, pumping our way through the 12 pods of Christmas as we get closer to the countdown to Christmas in October, which is new Christmas movies for this season. It's a lot. But also, we're going to have little surprise bonus eps, and you don't want to miss out. So make sure you are connected.
For sure. Special thanks to Nick Schwartz for our theme song. And of course, to each and every one of you for taking the time to listen on your favorite podcast platform or watching us on our YouTube channel. Hey, you guys know we're having a lot of fun. We're marching toward countdown to Christmas. We're going to have so much to discuss. And until we see you next time,
may your days be merry and bright. Bye, y'all.